Hello and welcome to episode 29 of Game Patrol. I'm your host, Landon Plumley, and with me today, we've got some awesome rock'em sock'em people.
You got it.
Yeah, we got there. We got good old Justin Gephardt. How you doing today, buddy?
Doing pretty good.
Good. And then we got good old Trace Griffiths back once again. How's it going?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. All right, we got some pretty good people up in this pretty good episode of Game Patrol.
Whoa.
I've got some amazing news to share with everybody. So last week I said on last week's episode, I said that I ordered my PS5 and got that supposed to come today. And so I can now say that I am the proud owner of a PS5 game collection because it never showed up.
Oh goodness!
Got delayed.
You see the posts and videos people were ordering PS5s and getting like pots and pans because the store accepted like too many orders than the PS5s they had, so they just shipped random stuff.
Yeah, I've heard about that. God,
Oh, it's okay. I saw a PS5 on Facebook Marketplace for $1,010 or $1,100. Yeah,
that's
there we
nothing.
go.
I've seen
that's
people.
a deal.
Yeah, I've seen people buy them for $2,500. Yeah, it's been nuts. Like I said, I did not get mine through a reseller. It's just Walmart doesn't like to give me accurate dates, and so it's now saying the latest update I was given was Monday at the latest. I'm given 2 to 3 business days, so we'll see. Hopefully next episode I can sell it. But I got games. Yeah, I got
Wait,
Demons.
what games do you?
I got Demon Souls and Devil May Cry 5.
Oh, yo, nice.
Because Devil May Cry 5 is one of my favorite games of all time. And so when they announced the special edition, I said, I'm going to get that. And I'm very excited to replay that game. Because it's amazing. And everybody go play Devil May Cry 5. If you have a next-gen console and you don't know what to play Devil May Cry 5. Even if you've played it already, then you should know. But it's so good. It's so good. So I'm very excited to play these games that I can't play right now because I don't have a console to play them on. But, I've told people I'm going to own all the PS5 games before I actually get the thing. And so,
I'm gonna laugh when it comes in like next year sometime.
Yeah. The thing is, and I was explaining this earlier, like, I legitimately, like, I can wait. I've waited long enough for this thing. I can wait a few more days or whatever it is. I just want them to be honest with me, Like, they told me Wednesday. It hasn't even shipped yet. Like, they knew that thing was not coming. And so it's like, I just want them to be honest. Like, tell me, when should I expect this thing?
Somebody just sitting at the shipping place is like, yo, watch this. And just like hitting the enter button to send you a message, be there Wednesday. And like, it's not going to be there Wednesday.
Yeah, it's just, like, I was listening to another podcast, and some guy was in the exact same situation as me, and he was like, yeah, I got mine from the Walmart Black Friday drop. It's going to come in tomorrow. And I said, no, it's not.
No.
Because, like, I was watching it, like, the day after, like, So I was like, yeah, no, that guy ain't getting it. I'm going to be mad. Actually, I should look at his Twitter because I follow him. I should see if he actually got it because that'll actually make me mad if he got his and I didn't get mine. But anyway, getting into the stuff going on this week, I'm going to slightly stall while I am looking for this guy's tweets because I said I would, and now it's all I'm thinking about. But as I kind of forget his name.
I kind of forget his name.
No, we're good. His name is Asa Green River, but he has not tweeted about it. So that could mean one of two things. Either he did get it, and he is, like, just 100%, like, playing it instead of doing anything else, instead of tweeting or anything like that, which would make me very mad. Or, he just
didn't
depressed.
get it at all.
Yeah, he's depressed because he didn't get it, and so he's gone into a depression, which, understandable. Same. But, anyway, getting into the games coming this week, we got a lot of really awesome stuff coming this week. I'm really excited. So, out today, which is actually going to be one of the things we get to go more in depth about, Immortals Fenyx Rising is coming out for, here we go, PS5, Xbox Series S and X, PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, PC, and Google Stadia. Everything, even Game Boy, it's coming out. Immortals Fenyx Rising. So this brings Yeah, GameCube, the Nintendo 64, those arcades and
Wii.
Banditos, you know,
The Wii.
everything.
Get it on the Wii.
Yeah, of course. They got Just Dance on the Wii. But so this brings grand mythological adventure to life. Play as Fenyx on a quest to save the Greek gods. I mentioned last week I got an early copy. I have about like
Flex on
21
us.
hours. Yeah. Still haven't beaten the thing yet because they, of course, this game had to come out like early access the week of Thanksgiving, and so it was a little rough to do. I'm really tired, but yeah, we're getting through it. I'm hoping to get up a final review on Friday, but I did put up a video if y'all are interested. I ranted for 40 minutes about how much I love that game, and put that up. I also have a bunch more video content covering the game, and I'm not done yet. But like I said, I'm exhausted, and then like as much as I love the game, I'm kind of ready to be done because it's like I've been working my butt off this past week, and so also I'm really ready for A, my PS5, and B, Cyberpunk. So, which is
Cyberpunk.
a week away. We are a week away from Cyberpunk.
This is the closest we've ever been.
It's the closest we've ever been, and I'm really nervous because I finally decided that I wanted to get Cyberpunk on the PS5 versus the PC, and now I don't even know if I'm gonna get it on time, and it's getting to the point where I need to make that decision, and it's like, I don't know. But also out tomorrow, we've got Madden NFL 21 Next Level Edition for PS5 and Xbox Series X. A new generation is leaving its mark in the NFL. Will you rise to the occasion, change the game, and take control of your own legacy? So, Madden is getting its next-gen upgrades tomorrow. You get it for free if you own the last-gen copies, and so we'll get those pretty new, shiny sports game versions. People really like the next-gen versions of 2K, so we'll see how people feel about, this one, how big they went, how substantial the upgrades are, but they're getting all that. That's coming out tomorrow. Also out tomorrow, because, Switch is just staying in this console wars fight, it's an exclusive to Switch, Fitness Boxing 2, Rhythm and Exercise. The highly anticipated game, jab, uppercut, dodge, and more to catchy pop tunes in this rhythmic boxing game. And looking at screenshots, if you told me that the developers of Pokken Tournament made this game, I would believe you. Because it looks like the exact same design. Which, Pokken Tournament's an amazing game. Don't get, shout out to that game. But, if you can't find Ring Fit Adventure anywhere, which is very likely, and you want a fitness game for your Switch, this is coming out. But make sure you've played the first one first, so you don't have any, so you know what's going on with the story. So, you have to beat Fitness Boxing 1 first before you can do Fitness Boxing 2, because there's a lot of story depth in there. It's basically a JRPG. And I'm 100% sarcastic, but anyway. Also out tomorrow, supposedly the worst Fire Emblem ever made. It's the first Fire Emblem ever made, and it never came to the US until now. Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon and the Blade of Light is coming out on Nintendo Switch tomorrow. Meet Marth and recruit some of the most beloved Fire Emblem characters in their 8-bit glory as you play through all 25 chapters of this classic Famicom role-playing game, localized and released for the first time in North America for a limited time. So, I've been told this is a terrible game. For one, the reason that Fire Emblem didn't come to the US until... I don't know which Fire Emblem was the first to release in the US, if it was the second one or if it was even later. But basically they thought it was too hard. When you look at it, Dark Souls is made by a Japanese game developer, and really all the hardest games are usually, you don't see a lot of Western developers. For some reason, the Japanese really love pain. And so, but they never brought over Fire Emblem because it was too difficult. But, apparently this isn't honestly that good, but it's Marth, and Marth is in Smash. I need to know the origin of Marth, so I kind of want to get this game, even though I've heard nothing good about it. I need to know about my boy Marth. Justin, are you with me? Do you want to know the origin of Marth?
Of course.
Okay, good. Trace, do you want to know the origin of Marth?
You want me to be 100% honest? I don't know who that is.
I know. I was
I kind of
hoping.
know who it.
I was
I
hoping.
kind of know who it is.
You know Marth.
But
Marth is
I
simply the character that I care the least about in Smash, but I know a lot of people really like him. They're
I
yeah.
only know him really from Smash.
Yeah. I mean, I know there's some people that like live and breathe Marth and Smash. I can't do it. That he's not my playstyle. But
Mhm.
I was being honest. Like I do want to like kind of delve into this because I really love Fire Emblem Three Houses. I think it's one of the best games ever made on the Switch thus far. And so it's the only Fire Emblem game I've ever played. So I kind of want to go back into the back catalog and like this being brought over, I was like, "Oh, well, kind of." But again, I have heard nothing good from this, so we'll see. But it's tempting. And then also tomorrow, a JRPG that everybody actually loves, even though Fire Emblem technically isn't an RPG. Dragon Quest XI-S, Echoes of an Elusive Age, Definitive Edition for PS4, Xbox One, and PC tomorrow. This came out on Switch last year, and now it's being ported over to everything else. The Definitive Edition includes the critically acclaimed Dragon Quest XI, plus additional scenarios, orchestral soundtrack, 2D mode, and more. Whether you are a longtime fan or a new adventurer, this is the ultimate DQ11 experience. So, I actually bought this on Switch a few months ago, and I constantly forget that I did. I've never played it. I just am like, I'm going to get to this eventually, and I keep forgetting that I own it. Like when this was like, cause I was getting podcast ready, and I'm like, I should totally, because it's also launching in the Game Pass. So I was like, I should totally jump into this, now that I can, play it for free with Game Pass. And I'm like, wait, I bought it. Like I could play it right now. Like I constantly forget about it. But I've heard so many good things about this game and just the Dragon Quest franchise. And again, I want to play it because of Smash, because Heroes in Smash, and so I'm like, I want to get into Dragon Quest because I've never played a Dragon Quest game, and I really like JRPGs. But yeah, I don't know. Like, do you have any experience with Dragon Quest, Justin?
No, I do not.
I know for the most part, they were a DS franchise. They have branched out to other consoles and like different things like that. Like 11, I believe was a PS4 exclusive when it first came out. Then they came out with like a definitive version. I believe it was just for Switch, and now we have this for everything else. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But I believe it was a PS4 exclusive when it first came out, the original version of Dragon Quest XI. But yeah, for the most part, they've been DS games. But they've all been, I shouldn't say all, but like for the most part, they've been received really, really well. Like they're usually on top of lists of like best games for the DS or wherever their respective things are. So definitely, if you're a JRPG fan, if you're a JRPG fan, you probably knew about this, but this comes out tomorrow. Also tomorrow, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night for mobile devices, iOS and Android both. This is the full game experience, a gothic exploration-focused side-scrolling action RPG by Koji Igarashi, packing all of the best features you've come to know and love from the Metroidvania genre into a single content-packed game. So, the Metroidvania community has went cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs over the Bloodstained franchise. Like people really, really loved Ritual of the Night, and I believe it was Curse of the Moon was the other one. But people really love this. So if you haven't had a chance to jump into this game and you are into Metroidvanias, 100% this is for you. It's coming to mobile, and so, or if you're just looking for a new chance to play, it's awesome that they got this to run on mobile. I mean, I'm not super surprised. It's an 8-bit game, but like, it's cool that they're bringing this to everything. So, yeah.
I was just gonna say it looks like a ripoff of Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, if I looked up the right thing, it looks like a ripoff of Mortal Kombat. Like the fighting scenes when they're just like on a bridge.
I don't necessarily think you're looking at the right thing, because this is a. I mean, I guess I can kind of see where you're coming from, but it's not a fighting game. It's a Metroidvania, so it has to deal with like platforming and puzzle solving and that sort of stuff.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
From
Different
what I
genre.
was looking at it, it just looked like a a Mortal Kombat game.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's got some more. I don't want to say more depth because I'm not saying that like Mortal Kombat is shallow.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah, but it's got more to it than just like the fighting mechanics and stuff. Because I like Mortal Kombat. Like I'm not disrespecting Mortal Kombat at all, but yeah, y'all know what the point I'm trying to get across there. But
Yeah.
then on Tuesday, we've got Puyo Puyo Tetris 2 for PS5, Xbox Series S and X, PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC. Japan's beloved puzzle game series Puyo Puyo and the world-renowned Tetris game franchise have teamed up again to deliver even more Puyo popping and Tetrimino. I don't know how to pronounce that.
Tetrimino. That's what it looks like.
Is that how you say it though? Because I know somebody that's really into Tetris is going to slam me for it if they hear. So
that's what it looks like.
Clearing fun in Puyo Puyo Tetris 2. So what the original Puyo Puyo Tetris was either a launch game for the Switch or it came out like right at launch, like pretty much right then. And back when there wasn't a huge library on the Switch, it was really well received and it was one of the top games on the Switch to play. So you know, if you like puzzle solving games, something that you can just kind of pick up and at your leisure, you know, you've got yet another one coming out on Switch and then all these other platforms on Tuesday. And so those are the
Play
games
your heart away
on
Tetris.
Heck yeah. I mean, between this and all the Picross, Puyo Puyo Tetris, it's both. You can play Puyo Puyo, you can play Tetris, you can play Puyo Puyo Tetris. It's a pillow, it's a pet, it's a pillow pet, but Tetris and Puyo
Facts.
Puyo. And so, those are the games coming this week.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. Basically, just what games can we play maybe for a little bit before Cyberpunk. And so, gaming news for this week. Got a lot of really cool information. So, first off, the Xbox can play PS2 games and the PS5 can't. So, yeah. So this has been officially tested on the Series S, although they see no reason as to why the Series X would not be able to do it as well because they use the same developer software. But basically, if you access the developer mode of the Xbox, you are then able to run certain emulators, and one of those emulators emulates PS2 games. And so a lot of people are pointing out that while you can't play PS2 backwards compatible games on the PS5, you can on Xbox. So suck on that, ponies. And so there you go. Xbox has another win for backwards compatibility, and you know that's 100%.
And that's even on a different console too.
Yeah, so that's 100% what their intention was. But yeah. So another thing, Doom Eternal has finally gotten a Switch release date. It was supposed to, I believe, when it was announced, it was supposed to come day and date. But then it got delayed, and then they just kind of didn't talk about it for a long time. And now they're just
rumored, wasn't it rumored that it just got canceled?
There was a brief rumor like last week that it got canceled because people's physical copies got canceled, and that's because they got rid of the physical version, and so it's only digital now. They're not producing any physical cartridges, and so. Which was very weird, and that makes me a little nervous about how the game is and how the game runs on the Switch, because that game is a beefcake. And also, fun fact, it's coming to Game Pass PC, I believe on the 3rd, which is today for podcast listeners, but it's coming to PC very soon, if not now. But it also came to Xbox Game Pass last month? Question mark? And so, which heavily recommend. It is a Game of the Year nominee. We talked about that a couple weeks ago. But also the Game Awards are next Thursday, too. I don't know why they decided... Well, technically, Cyberpunk got delayed after they announced that it would be on the 10th. But, like, rip to them for having the Game Awards on Cyberpunk launch day. Because ain't nobody going to be watching. Everybody's going to be playing Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
But, anyway... because I know that's what I'm gonna be doing. Like, I would love to watch the Game Awards. I was planning on it, but I realized it was Cyberpunk Day, and I was like, oh, well, never mind. But, so it's coming out Tuesday. They're just like, yeah, December 8th. There you go, next Tuesday. And so, yeah, it's coming out then. We'll see, again, how it runs, because it's gonna be something. Although, The people developing the port specifically, is Panic Room, and they're the people who handled the Doom 2016 port, and it was really good. I mean, for a Switch port, like it ran really, really well, and so if anybody can do it, those people can. Like, the amount of wizardry they do to get games to run on the Switch just blows my mind. Especially now that we're seeing games come to the Switch via cloud, and they're just like, nah, fam, just give me 20 minutes, or in this case, 6 months. But, you know, they can pull off stuff. So if anybody can do it, they can, because like I said, Doom 2016 ran surprisingly well on the Switch, and they also came out, I believe they ported Wolfenstein 2 over there too. I don't know if that was them or not. I think so. But yeah, they've done a really good job at porting stuff over to the Switch. So I have some faith in them, at least. But next up, Microsoft Flight Simulator is getting VR support on December 22nd. And more updates. So yeah, this was something that they were saying they wanted to do and they were going to add eventually. And so now is that time. Well, specifically a few weeks from now is that time. It's getting VR support. It's going to be on Oculus and Valve. I'm excited because, I mean, on one hand, I'm kind of upset because I played it for an hour and then I never played it again, and I meant to, and I still don't have no idea what I'm doing, and I really want to jump back in for the VR update, but I know, having no idea what I'm doing, it's going to be a mess, so I'm going to have to, like, continue doing the tutorials and teach myself, and I probably shouldn't do that in VR, but I'm going to want to, because since the VR is out, I'd be like, I want to do this, because like, I want to play in VR. And so it's going to be a predicament for me. But yeah, it's getting that VR support, which I'm excited to see how that operates, because the amount of processing power that this game takes is nuts. And so adding VR on top of that, whew, it's going to be a PC killer for sure. Honestly, I'm a little worried about mine. But yeah, we're getting some VR support for that. Then also, since this might honestly be important for me, this is why I put it in there. Cyberpunk 2077, PS4, PS5, and Xbox One, Xbox Series cross saves have been detailed. So, Xbox, it's super easy because they announced it was going to be smart delivery. So as long as you're connected to the internet, so your save data can be uploaded to the cloud, your save is going to transfer seamlessly and will be ready to start Cyberpunk 2077 on your new next-gen system. However, I should note that, and in case you didn't, like, they have reiterated, but the next-gen versions of the game are not releasing at launch. So if you play Cyberpunk on PS5 or Xbox Series, you're playing the Xbox One and PS4 versions through backwards compatibility, where they will launch a full next-gen version of the game next year, which you will be able to upgrade to for free. But if you play on your new consoles at launch, if you already have them, it's going to be the backwards compatible versions. However, they're going to have enhancements, just not the full enhancements. It's very complicated, and it's just weird, but that's how it is. And so on the PS5 side, it gets a little bit more tricky. I'm not 100% sure where I'm technically at, because basically it's similar in that you have to connect your PlayStation Plus account and upload your saves, or you can transfer your data via LAN cable or Wi-Fi, or you can use a storage device to copy and transfer your saves to the same PSN account on PS5. But like, since I'll be playing it on PS5, hopefully, through backwards compatibility, like, my saves are already be on there, right? So I won't have to do any of that. Like, I don't think so. But, like, yeah, I don't know. Either way, like, you will have cross saves. Like, cross saves will happen. You know, you'll be able to bring it over once those next-gen versions do come out sometime next year. But, you know, just make sure you're doing it the right way, I guess. I don't yeah. But all that fun stuff. And so,
Exciting.
yeah. And then let's get into some console war stuff, because of course Microsoft's a little upset because their games aren't performing as well as PS5 games in a lot of cases, which is really interesting. So I would heavily suggest, if you haven't already, go check out Digital Foundry. They've been doing some amazing coverage on the console launches and just testing out different games and, you know, comparing them, PS5 versus Xbox Series X and also Series S, and just, you know, doing performance analyses. But basically a lot of games, specifically like the big heavy hitters, are performing better on PS5. So the big one everyone was talking about was Assassin's Creed Valhalla, because it actually ran significantly better on PS5, to the point where Ubisoft issued a patch that basically lowered the dynamic resolution. So essentially, how a lot of games will function on consoles is that, they will run at, quote, 4K, but when the gameplay starts to get intensive, it will scale down the resolution so that instead of losing frames, you just get slightly less detailed graphics. And so on Xbox Series X, the donate or the sorry, losing my train of thought. The resolution will scale down to, I think, something like 1182p or something like that. That's the lowest it'll go. The PS5 doesn't even, like, after this update, the PS5 still scales down to 1440p at most. And so now after this update, they're about even in terms of FPS. There are a couple times where the PS5 dips down just slightly lower than the Series X, but not by much, like literally just a couple frames. But it has more detail than the Series X. And Xbox were very, very pissed at Digital Foundry, not at Xbox, at Digital Foundry, saying that they were biased. And they were literally just reporting facts. And so, but now I just see on Twitter where they're just saying, oh wow, enjoy your extra blades of grass. But like, these are the same people that were talking about their 30% increase of power, saying, look at us, best console ever, most powerful console, blah, blah, blah. And it's not showing for it. And so in the same way, with Devil May Cry 5, actually, the Series X has better performance in the 4K and ray tracing modes, but the higher frame rate option runs better on PlayStation 5. And so, just to be fair, Devil May Cry 5 has like 6 different playable like modes in the game. Like they have 2 different ray tracing modes, and then 2 different performance modes. So yeah, I think it's a 4 official modes. 2 different ray tracing modes, and then 2 different performance modes, and all of them all of them max out at 120 hertz or 120 FPS. Not all of them hit 120 FPS. When you do the full 4K ray tracing, it usually dwindles around 60. But pretty much every other mode, like even 1080p with ray tracing, is doing 120 FPS, which is nuts. But PS5 is performing better than Series X. It's also doing that with Dirt 5, similarly, where in fidelity modes it's running better on the Series X, but frame rate is more steady with the PS5. And from what I've heard via Digital Foundry, the case seems to be that although Xbox has a very similar UI structure, in terms of development, it seems that they had an overhaul where it's a lot different to develop games on Series X. And so it's made it difficult for devs to understand how to do it, how to optimize the games. Whereas apparently the system that the PS5 uses is very similar to the PS4's. And so the developers are just having an easier time developing for that system versus for Series X. Also, they have not had as long with the Series X. It was reported that it was June when third-party developers first got access to the Series X. So they literally have had less than 6 months to make these versions. And so, whereas I'm not 100% sure how long they've had the PS5s, but it's been longer than that. And so,
7 months.
Yeah.
7 months.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I think, like, this is just going to be something we see, like, the first year. I don't think, I think as people understand the hardware and learn and, get better, we will see third-party shift in the Series X's favor. But, I see all these people that are trying to debunk these claims, and it's like, no, it's right. Like, PS5 is the best place to play third-party games right now. And it's like, even though the Series X has, better, has that GPU boost, it's not performing well because of just developers not being able to utilize the console. And so that will change. But for now, PS5 is the best place to play games. And that's just, there is scientific evidence to back that up. And console war people are not happy about it. So that's been what's going on there. But, that's just where we're at. And so I know, Justin, you're a PlayStation guy, and so I know that we talked a couple weeks ago that you hadn't picked up a PS5, but I don't think I ever asked if you were actually thinking about getting one or the other. Your thoughts about that specifically?
I plan on getting a PS5 someday. Who knows when?
Mm-hmm.
Plan on getting it. It's just, I honestly, I'm one of those guys who I'm a PS5 guy, but also I like the Xbox. I've played it. I have no issues with it. I don't hate it. I'm not gonna, if somebody walks up to me and they go, "Oh, I play Xbox," I'm not gonna hate them, or bash on them or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But if I plan on buying the PS5, but if I somehow ended up with an Xbox, I wouldn't be upset.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. So, but console wars are going to continue to go on until the end of time, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But, that's just the way the world works. But getting into the main topic at hand, we're in a new month. And so, like every other month, we wrap up, we talk about the highlights of November, and get into what to look forward to into December, the last month of 2020. We finally made it. And so the big thing with November, surprisingly, so what I do is I look at, the most critically acclaimed game that's released over the month, and I also look at the most popular game, the game that's been circling around web traffic the most during the month. And surprisingly, they were both the same game, and that's Demon's Souls. And I wasn't surprised about it being the best in terms of critics, but I was surprised to hear that people talked more about Demon's Souls than about anything else. I thought, if anything, it would be Assassin's Creed Valhalla, but people were pumped about Demon's Souls. And I don't know if it has to do with console war stuff, if it had to do with, because a lot of people were saying, with Miles Morales, that it was a glorified DLC, and Demon's Souls is a PS3 game, that sort of stuff. But yeah, people went nuts about this game. And
I actually heard quite a bit about Demon's Souls. I am a little shocked that it's not like Miles Morales up there, just because I did hear a lot about that too. But I saw a lot of the streamers I watch actually were streaming Demon's Souls.
Yeah, I'm very excited to check it out once I, at some point, get a thing. Get a PS5, but
actually get the PS5.
Yeah, but we'll see if that ever happens. But that's just sort of where we're at this current moment in time. But yeah, Demon's Souls was yes, it is technically a remake of a game, but it is definitely substantially different from the original, and just the amount of work that was put into it. And so I think it deserves the praise. Not having played it myself, hopefully I'll be able to come back next week and be able to talk about that, but for now, we can't do that. But as far as what else happened in November, we kind of had a couple consoles launch, and so
Really?
the PS5 and the Xbox came out, and we did entire episodes detailing all of that, so you guys can check those out. We talked about the Xbox, talked about PlayStation in depth. We talked I talked last week about which one is, currently the better console at this point in time, in which I think it's close, but, spoiler alert, I gave it to the PlayStation 5 for now. And like I said, it's by no means, a landslide race, because I think Game Pass is an amazing deal. And, like I said, Xbox does have the graphical advantage that it's apparently not utilizing right now. But, as of right now, I think the PS5 is the better option, hence the reason why I have one eventually coming to me, maybe. And, the Xbox is out in the ether somewhere, waiting to be purchased one day. But looking forward to December, we've already mentioned it a bunch of times, but, I feel like we shouldn't mention it too many times, because then it'll scare it away. But Cyberpunk 2077 is coming out. I don't know if I said that enough times, but Cyberpunk. We're getting Cyberpunk, guys.
Okay, so
I mean,
my one thing I want to ask more for you because you will understand this more. I really want Cyberpunk 2077, but I don't have a PS5 yet. Should I wait to just try it for the first time on the PS5, or should I just go for it in the PS4 and then when I get a PS5, just do the whole transfer?
I'd go for it.
Yeah, I would 100% go for it because your saves transfer, you get the free upgrade, so you're not gonna have to pay
Yeah,
for the PS5 version. I would just go for
that's
it.
true.
Now,
Yeah,
I'm trying to remember. Do you have the base PS4?
yeah, that's what I'm worried about.
See, because there's been a lot of rumors that it doesn't run well on the base PS4s and
Yeah.
Xbox Ones. So that is where I have to fix this because I don't have the version of I don't have the version of Zoom that lets me have longer than 40 minutes, and because COVID's been going on for too long, it's been it's it's been kicking me off. It's kicking everybody out of here. But we'll get some people back in here real quick. And
Well,
so,
that's fun.
yeah. So Zoom decided that COVID's went on for too long, and so it limits. If you have the free version of Zoom, it limits it to.
I forgot that. Yeah.
Yeah, it limits it to
40 minutes.
40 minutes, and so honestly, I think I should look into different options for video, but it's not something I have done currently.
I mean, we could always do it via Discord.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But we're back now, and we're all good to go. But yeah, Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it makes sense to like be cautious about that, but I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I think at this point it's like unless, well, I guess not. Maybe not necessarily wait. Like you might want to wait. Maybe like
Wait to see.
not get it like right at launch, but
Yeah.
be like just wait and see if it like how people say it runs on those base consoles.
Yeah.
And then, get it as soon as possible. As soon as you get like the okay of like it runs all right, then go for it. Because it's definitely difficult because it's Cyberpunk, man. It's Cyberpunk.
I know.
But like,
Wait.
So excited.
Landon, you know how you said if you say it too much, you'll scare it away?
Mhm.
How come COVID hasn't ran away then yet?
That's because that's a different thing. This is a video game. That's a
This is a video
pandemic.
game that's been
Yeah.
in the works since like 2012.
Yeah. This thing has been
Isn't that when they announced it? Like 2012,
yeah.
2013?
It was 2012.
Yeah.
Yeah, this game has
And they've been
developed-
working on it for this long.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were doing pre-production while they were working on Witcher 3, and then after Witcher 3 came out and all the DLC, they switched to full development on it, and it's been delayed like 4 times. But I think we can finally say that it's here, it's coming, we're gonna get it this month. It's gonna happen. We're gonna play Cyberpunk. A week from now, it'll be in our hands, and it'll just be, it'll be glorious.
Hopefully
People
it
are-
lives up to that hype.
People have been asking, like, I've had people say, like, what background are you gonna do? Because it's like Dungeons and Dragons, where you can like create your own scenario and that sort of thing. Thing is, I don't look at any of that. Like, I want to go into it as fresh as possible. So honestly, I don't know what all the options are. I just know that like I'm gonna try my best and have fun, and I'm probably gonna play through it like 6 times anyway. So I'll probably get through all of them anyway.
Yep.
So, because I mean, in case y'all haven't heard, because I think I mentioned it last week's episode, but I'm doing a 24-hour launch live stream of Cyberpunk. Again, I don't know when it's going to be on because I don't know if I'm getting my PS5 in time, but I'm going to be streaming it right at launch, 24 hours. My main concern is food, but we'll figure it out. And so,
Wait,
That's all
when
I
is
care
it coming out?
December 10th.
A week from now.
Mm-hmm.
The 10th, which is a Thursday, which I'll be online schooling, so I'll be able to do the 24-hour stream.
Yep. Betsky Gretzky. But
Oh,
yeah, I'm very
I'll
excited.
come watch.
I'm very
I
excited.
probably won't watch for the whole 24 hours, but I'll come watch.
Fake
Nope,
fan, but
you got to
alright.
watch the whole 24 hours.
You
Exactly.
gotta watch the whole 24 hours.
24 hours. I heard because a bunch of people got to play 16 hours of the game, which they then said felt like they were just scratching the surface, but they said it took 6 hours to reach the title. Like, to reach the title screen.
Oh my god.
It's gonna be a
Is
big
that a joke?
game. No, it's not
Is
a
that a
joke.
joke?
That's not a joke. It took me 5 hours to get the Assassin's Creed Valhalla screen, and I heard that takes 117 hours to beat. And so
Oh my
Cyberpunk,
Oh my god!
gosh.
Cyberpunk's
remember
gonna
back-
be huge.
I remember back in like older games, it would take like maybe like 30 minutes to hit the title screen.
It took an hour in Immortals,
Oh
but yeah,
my God.
it's 6 in Cyberpunk. That's how long it took Tom
Oh.
Marks from IGN.
No.
But
Wow.
it's gonna be a big
I'm
game.
I'm so excited for that game.
What I'm excited about is that because they scaled down the world, right? The open world map is not as big as The Witcher 3 because they
Yeah.
got some complaints about that. But
It's
I
more
feel
full.
arguably, yes. Like, I feel they arguably have just as much content or more content.
I
It's
think-
all just more condensed. And in that sense, it's like, it's kind of like in those, like, Assassin's Creed Unity is always what's come to mind to me, where there's a big open world and there's a lot of stuff to do, but it's all kind of like filler stuff.
Mhm.
Whereas I'm really excited for Cyberpunk because it sounds like there's a lot of stuff to do, and knowing CD Projekt Red, it's all going to be really unique, awesome stuff. Because, like, The Witcher 3 didn't have much filler stuff. Like, everything there, like, was there for a reason. Everything was very purposeful in The Witcher 3. It's just, it was all kind of spread out a little bit. So to see potentially more content in a more condensed environment, I'm so excited to just see that. Just to be like, because people were talking, like, that they didn't even want to fast travel because they can just hop in their car and go to this place real quick, like, you know, because it's just
Yeah.
that easy and everything's everywhere. And it's just, I'm so excited. What?
One thing that we haven't talked about is if Cyberpunk's gonna be multiplayer or not.
Well, they've already talked about
just-
this.
I just saw a tweet from IGN today that said Cyberpunk wasn't, or the multiplayer wasn't going to be like just an add-on. It was going to be like a full-on separate.
Yeah. So, yeah, they were approached about multiplayer, and it's the single player itself is a standalone experience, and they are working on a multiplayer version of the game. And so they haven't said much about it yet. We're supposed to get some information early next year. But from what we've been told, it sounds like it's going to be sort of like a Red Dead or GTA Online approach, and it's going to be standalone. So it's not going to be added on to the game. It's not going to be an expansion. It's going to be a standalone experience that is tied to the lore and the world of Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
So basically, you're gonna be playing against people then?
Well, we don't know.
know.
Like I said, from the little hints they've been dropping, we've kind of assumed basically what we would love to see is basically just and what people have been theorizing that this might be is an RPG version of GTA Online.
That's what I've been like picturing it as.
Yeah, you just get like a group of people together and you just go out and do all these missions and everything in this open world sandbox where it's like GTA heists on steroids.
Oh yeah.
But it'd be so awesome. Like,
That would be so cool.
yeah, but I'm definitely
the
excited to hear about that.
The game's gonna be fun either way, even if it's not a multiplayer game.
Yeah. But yeah, they said they wanted to completely focus on, making this experience right now, and they're also going to have free DLC for the game that they're working on.
Yep.
And so they're like, we're committed to this right now, but we are going to release a multiplayer experience that will just come later and will be separate. And so that'll come at some point down the line because, yeah, they got plenty on their plate right now with releasing the game, then releasing the next-gen versions next year, then the free DLC, and then, they've got the multiplayer component as well. And so, yeah, they definitely got a lot of stuff going on, and props to them. But also, stop making the developers crunch because nobody needs that in their life. Like, we can wait.
I hated that so much when the last time it got delayed. Like they said, like this is the last time it'll be delayed.
Mhm.
And everybody got so mad.
Yeah.
I was mad at the people who got mad because they're like, man, I want a good finished game. I don't want a game that like the developers are like, well, we got some bugs that we could have fixed, but we wanted to release it. Like, I
Yeah,
want,
I mean, the big thing, and like it's important to say, like when a game gets delayed, a lot of people are like, oh, that's good because, and don't get me wrong, a delayed game is better than a rushed game.
yeah, oh yeah,
But people say it's good in relation to crunch because they say that it results in less crunch. But actually, statistically speaking, there's been research done on this. Usually, when a game's delayed, it leads to more crunch because companies don't want to further delay the game unless you're CD Projekt Red and they delay it 5 times. But usually, it will result in them, because they're like, oh, we can't delay this again. You guys need to get this work done, and it results in more crunch. And so,
yeah,
bottom line is, stop putting such emphasis on release dates. Like, don't be afraid to delay games. Stop making these people into slaves. Like, these game developers are doing this because it's their passion, and that passion is going to be lost if you work them to death. And so, I love CD Projekt Red as a company. I really do, and I still do because of the developers. I love the developers over at CD Projekt Red. But in terms of corporate management and that just handling of the situation, it is absolutely despicable, and I will never support that because, the amount of I think it's been like the last 6 months, they said they've been working like 80-hour weeks,
yeah,
which has been nuts. That's absolutely nuts. Like, these people have families, and like, especially with coronavirus, and this has been a terrible year for people. Like, I can barely get work done in general, much less double the amount of work. And so it's like, yeah, like no company, no matter how big or important, should be able to do that. And so that's definitely something that needs to be more outspoken in the gaming industry, and other industries, of course, but that just specifically for this circumstance. But yeah. So
yeah,
as excited as I am about Cyberpunk, I also want to make it very clear that I don't support crunch culture, and it's one of those things where it's like, I'm sure there are people boycotting this game because of that, and I completely understand that. I don't have the willpower to do that, but yeah, I do want to make it clear that I don't support crunch, but also I want to play Cyberpunk. So that's a predicament for me. But another game that's coming out that I don't want to let fly under the radar, so I'm going to champion it whenever I can. Medal of Honor Above and Beyond. It is a VR game made by Respawn, aka the people that made Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah.
I am very excited for this, and I cannot wait to check
VR
this out.
to play it. It looked really good. Saw some
Well,
gameplay for it.
BB, you do realize that I am very close to you.
Yeah, you're
And
back. You're back home.
Yeah. I need to see if it's, because like, I'm like, do I need to buy this, or is it with EA Play? Because it's an EA game, but
Yeah.
I don't know if it's on Origin. I'm actually going to check that right now, because I have EA Play, so I won't have to buy the game then. And so, because I have the Pro, so I get all of EA's games. But it's like, if I need to buy it, that makes things complicated because it comes out the same day as Cyberpunk. And so I'm not going to play it at launch. Like, that is not in my realm. Like, maybe a week after launch, because Cyberpunk is going to take over my life. But I will check it out. I don't know if I'm going to have access to it, honestly. I don't even know if it's on the store. Like, I'm not even seeing it. It's literally not even on the store. It might honestly be exclusive to the Oculus store, in which case, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to get access to that game, but I am excited to check that out, hopefully.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'm really excited about that because, Respawn, they haven't made a bad game ever. And, I was recently digging into the original Medal of Honor from 1999 on the original PlayStation.
Oh, dang.
It's pretty fun. It's very revolutionary, Couldn't have told you it was from 1999. It looked like a 2020 game to me. But
yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Did it have VR as well?
Had ray tracing and everything. 4K. It's actually 8K. I don't know how the PlayStation 1 pushed that, but they somehow got it out there. Yeah, it was the first 8K console. People forget about that a lot, but
Real beautiful right there.
mm-hmm. And so with that, that
All
wraps
right,
up our
Landon,
outlook.
tell us about Immortals Phoenix Rising.
So I have a bunch of videos talking all about this, so I'm gonna try to keep this brief, and just if you want more information, you can go to my
I
YouTube and see that.
I will say, I had heard of this game, but like hadn't really looked much into it. Hadn't really, well, yeah.
Kitty
Um,
cat.
Ah,
but I just not that I wasn't interested in, was just busy with school, didn't look too much into it. And then I saw your videos pop up the other day, and I was like, this sounds pretty cool for Landon. Like, I'm gonna have to check this out. And I saw the gameplay of it, and I was like, I want this game. Like, this game looks cool.
I was the same way, honestly. Like I was like I saw some stuff on it when it was announced and everything, and I was like, this could be all right. And it wasn't until I played the Stadia demo that released, and I was like,
Mhm.
oh, okay, I'm down for this.
Yeah.
And then when Ubisoft sent me a code, I was like, oh, okay, that's awesome. And then I'm really glad that I love this game, because I would have felt so bad if I didn't like the first game that was ever sent to me by a developer. And then I would have to go on and be like, hey, this isn't a good game. And then the developers hate me. Like, I know that
But like, we're never
happens.
sending to
Yeah.
that guy again.
Yeah. Like, I know that happens, and, it's whatever. But, like, my first game being that would have sucked. So I am glad that I really love this game. The reviews came out. It's sitting at, I believe, an 82 on Metacritic right now, which is really good. A lot of people have been critiquing the puzzles, and I've heard some people talk about they don't know who this is for, and just critiquing the dialogue and stuff. I don't know what the frick. I mean, I can understand where they're coming from, but I absolutely love this game. It's hilarious. The amount of God of War references they pack into Ares' quest line is just so freaking much, and I love every second of it. It's got me cackling. Ares has a best friend who's a bear, and they just get into it like he's his Atreus, and it's just awesome. And like, there's so many references to either Greek mythology or pop culture or anything like that. There's a comment that an NPC makes that throws shade at Breath of the Wild, and I love it to death. And it's like, basically, my thoughts to people, like, the best way I can describe this is, it takes the best parts of a Ubisoft RPG and Breath of the Wild and marries them together. So it's not quite a Breath of the Wild clone, because it very much has the feel of a Ubisoft RPG. But it also takes all of the great aspects from Breath of the Wild and brings it into that, so it doesn't really feel like just another Ubisoft RPG. It's just the perfect mix of the two, and that's what makes it special to me. And I love it. I don't want to ever stop playing the game, and it's like I love making progress in that game, because I have a love-hate relationship with gear in video games. I hate when I get this weapon that I love and is really cool, and it becomes irrelevant in like less than an hour of gameplay because I find something else that's stronger. Whereas in Immortals Fenyx Rising, instead of that, you upgrade all of your swords at once, and all of your axes, and all of your bows, and each weapon or armor piece has its own perk. So there are differences in different armors besides cosmetic. It could be it increases your midair damage, or it buffs another thing, like it buffs your armor, or maybe it gives you extra stamina, or different things like that. So if you find a piece of armor or a weapon that you really, really like, be it for the really awesome perk it has or just cosmetic, you can keep that for the entire game, because as you upgrade, it will upgrade with you. And I just love that. I know it's not deep and complex, but it's just so much nicer. Like, you can't tell me you enjoy having to grind to get in-game currency to upgrade this weapon you really like, because that's the only way you're going to keep it, because it gets outdated in like 2 missions. Like, that's not fun. I'm sorry. Like, I know that's how RPGs work, like looters work. I get it, but that's just not fun. And so this game, it just makes everything so nice and simple, and I love it. And there's so many things to upgrade, like your health, your stamina, your potions, your skills, your godly powers, your weapons and capacity and armor, and there's like daily tasks you can do to get cool cosmetic items and everything. So there's like ways to come back. The boss fights are really cool. The combat, it feels so fluid and it performs really, really well. I know someone who has it on PS5 and they haven't encountered any issues. I haven't ran into any issues playing. You know, it runs super smooth. It's well optimized. Yeah, the combat feels super fluid, where the thing is that this game doesn't necessarily do anything revolutionary, and I think that's why people have criticisms of the game. But the thing that makes me love it so much is that it doesn't do anything bad. Like, while it might not have anything that's like, you know, this is something that's never been done before in video games, or like this is a revolutionary, innovating new feature. Everything it does well, in my opinion. And so that's where I'm just like, it is a fun, entertaining game that I don't want to put down. And so that's why I love it so much. I also have a sweet spot for Greek mythology, so I know I'm biased.
Of course.
But, you know, yeah, it pains my heart. Like, I saw IGN gave it a 7, and I was just like, oh! I read the review, and I was just like, it's whatever, I guess, whatever.
Do you think the PS4 could hold up this game?
Oh, yeah. It's, like, it's a beautiful game, aesthetically speaking, but not in the sense, similar to the sense of Breath of the Wild, where
I was
it's
gonna
like,
say it looks it looks and feels like it would like just feel a lot like Breath of the Wild.
I cannot recommend
Performance
this enough.
wise.
Like, this is not just one of those, like, if you know, like, yeah, if you get the top, like, no. Like, if you could get one game right now, I mean, I would understand if it's Cyberpunk, but Immortals Fenyx Rising is a hell of a good game, and I love it to death. And like I said, I want to do, I think I'm getting further in the story. Like I said, really tomorrow, my main objective is to grind, because like I said, I want to get a review up on Friday. That's my main concern. But yeah, I love this game, and it's just, I guess it's the way the progression system works. I really just, it just makes me want to keep playing and keep doing well, because it's one of those where it's like, the game is honestly pretty difficult when you start, because it's, the entire world is opened up to you. Therefore, you might run into some areas that you are clearly not ready for. And
Like
so,
Breath of the Wild?
yes.
And to that Breath of the Wild.
Yes, it is very similar. And so, as you further upgrade, you know, you feel more powerful. And it's not necessarily that the game becomes a cakewalk, because that's not always the case, but you know, as you're able to pull off more combos and you learn new abilities, and you know, you have more health and stamina, and like the potions, like the upgrades you can do with the potions, like you can make it to where when you take a defense potion, if you get attacked, it does damage to them. And so, like, you can just put some crazy upgrades on your potions and stuff. Like, it just makes you feel like a one-man army, and it's just so satisfying as you progress through the game. So, like, it helps stave off repetitiveness, because you're just enjoying the combat so much more. Not that the combat wasn't enjoyable at the start, but, you know, being able to pull off more and more cool things just keeps that combat fresh. And it's just, it's a lot of fun. I mean, literally, I was 40% done with the game with 16 hours. because I was just having fun exploring and doing side stuff, and that's why I didn't finish. Because like if I would have done all the main mission, just steamrolled through, I probably would have had it done in time for the embargo. But I don't want to. I just wanna explore and have fun, because there's so much side stuff to do, so many vaults to explore. Because it has vaults that are similar to the temples in Breath of the Wild, where they do puzzles, and and the puzzles are really fun and really unique and innovative. Like I think they're fun. I can't speak to their repetitiveness that a lot of people talk about, because since I haven't beaten the game, I don't know. Maybe they do start to get repetitive as you get towards the end, but for me at least, I haven't felt that way. I've enjoyed them. I think there's a lot of variety there, and there's a lot of really cool things. Like there are some vaults I do that I'm like, that was a really well designed puzzle. Like that, like they honestly, like, bravo to them for coming up with some of the ideas for these puzzles, because there are some really unique, cool puzzles in this game. But yeah, I could go on forever and ever. Like I honestly was like, I'm not gonna have much to say about this because I've said so much about it in other videos. But then I went on this long ass rant about it, so it's like I really like you get me going on this game and I don't stop. And so play Immortals Fenyx Rising. That's the end of the. That's Trace, go play Immortals Fenyx Rising. Justin, go play Immortals Fenyx Rising.
I would.
No.
I just don't have the money for it.
Well, why don't you get it? And so Christmas is coming up. I know you'll get money.
I just looked
then.
up. You can get
I'm
a free
already
demo
getting
on
stuff.
Stadia.
Like I already have everything that I'm getting.
I was originally going to play it on Stadia. I eventually decided to get it on PC. That was before they then sent me the code. But because I played the demo on Stadia, which the demo on Stadia is available now. So
I just saw it. Yeah.
you can.
I might try that.
Yeah, you can try it out on Stadia, because it is still available. But yeah, I honestly think it could potentially be a Game of the Year contender for me. I don't think it'll be on a lot of Game of the Year lists, but for me personally, it's a wonderful game. And so with that, we'll get into the games that we've been playing this week. For me,
So what have you been playing, Landon?
oh, a little bit of Immortals Fenyx Rising here and there.
Tell us about it.
Well, it's this game that I'll go a little bit about it. It's just yeah, I've been playing a bunch of that. I also dabbled a little into Smash because I haven't been streaming because of the Immortals content, so I haven't played as much games like outside of Immortals. But I was at a Thanksgiving with some family and everything, and we were playing some Smash together. So I did play some Smash. Yeah, not you.
Oh.
That's different.
I was getting excited. I was like, hey.
Nah, I wasn't talking about you. We didn't play no games there, but those are the games I played. Not a whole lot, because like I said, I've mostly just been grinding some Immortals, so there's not a whole lot of variety there. But yeah, it's been, like I said, I'm tired. But Trace, what have you been playing?
Just the usual. Skater XL and Warzone. Until I get Cold War for Christmas, and then I'm gonna be grinding that game.
The more and more I hear about Cold War, the more
I've heard mixed reviews about Cold War.
Same, and that's why I was like, I'm gonna skip this year. But I'm like, I don't know. I kind of want to pick it up on PS5. I don't know.
Landon?
You there?
So it says my internet connection is unstable. You can all hear me?
Hey, re-say what you were just talking about.
Re-say like the past 30 seconds. You just cut out so bad.
Oh, I was saying that I was thinking about picking up Cold War because I also heard the same thing about mixed reviews, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It looks fun.
It looks like
I was watching Zombies gameplay and it made me want to play Zombies again. I used to play Zombies all the time.
Yeah.
It made me want to play again.
I might
that
pick
right
it up
there
on
is
PS5. Yeah, I might pick it up on PS5. I don't know. I'm very conflicted, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see about that. Justin, what have you been playing?
Just today I started playing that new Worms Rumble game. I was telling you a little Landon before this. It's just fun. I mean, it's nothing too serious, just fun. I mean, confusing at first, but you get into it and it's addicting. And I've still been trying to grind Hollow Knight. Haven't been playing as much lately, trying to finish up some final stuff. But
a lot of people have been yelling at me to play that game. How is it?
Yeah, I was just going to ask the same thing.
Yeah, how long?
It's really, let me tell you, you're gonna get mad if you play it,
Yeah.
but you're gonna get mad. But it's really fun. It feels really just satisfying because I mean, it's you. It's kind of like what you're saying about like Immortals, Fenyx Rising. You really just kind of get thrown into this big open world, um, which is like a platformer, but
Yeah.
you get thrown into this big open world, and you really just you can go do whatever, but you kind of have to find the right pathway to really level, like not level up, but like get the new gear, get new abilities, and um, so like there'll be so many times I'll stumble upon like a boss, and I'll be like, I haven't seen you, I bet I can fight you, and I die in like 2 seconds. I'm like, all right, we'll come back to you later. So yeah, it's get and just you're gonna get mad. That's all
Yeah.
I have to say.
From what I've heard, it's like a mix of Ori and the Blind Forest and Dark Souls. And
Yeah,
like
yeah, that's a good way to
they're
put
both
it.
difficult games. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So it's on my list. I want to at least play it before the sequel comes out, Silk Song. But
I'm pretty sure it's still on PlayStation Plus, is it not?
I think it
It
just
changed.
got
PS
off.
Plus.
Yeah.
It just changed.
Yeah.
That's how
Oh.
I got Worms Rumble because that's free on PlayStation
Yeah.
this month. So yeah, it just
Yeah.
changed.
I've reserved both Bug Snacks and Worms Rumble. So once I get my PS5, so I know I have those. But
Nice.
yeah, I'm just trying to get as many PS5 games as possible. But
I still got to get Bug Snacks. Bug Snacks.
it's so
Bug
good. It's
Snacks.
so good. It really is. It is so good. And like, man, I'm gonna replay it on PS5. Like that's a promise. I'm excited. But anyway, we're gonna get out of here. Thank you guys for watching / listening / however you interact with us, all that fun stuff. We'll be back next week. I wish we could talk about Cyberpunk, but you know, like I said, at that point in time, it won't really have played it yet. So we'll have one more Cyberpunkless podcast, but 2 weeks from then. Ooh. But yeah, like I said, thanks again for watching, and we'll see y'all next week. Adios.
Bye.